Thanks. All right, we ready to go? So I just want to close with a couple challenges. First of all, I've been sitting down here in a seat, so I'm sitting right next to you. And probably like all of you, you're probably stirring right now, one on kind of, I say, the Instagram of life. What am I going to do next? But the second thing is you've got a lot of thoughts running through your mind. Hopefully you're nudged a little bit. Emotionally, the bank account's full. Our intention with EdgeX is to put you at this point right now as efficiently as possible. 4 hours, 7 speakers, quickly, not 2 days, but the intent is to kind of jump into the way of life, but stir your life. And I'm going to take Dave's point, and I agree with him. The theme I heard all day today, watching all these leaders, is humility. It isn't really the power of one person. I believe it's the power of one person with a vision. And so, one of my challenges, I guess, as we close is, what's your vision? And I cannot underestimate that I believe the difference between amazing leaders and those that can change the world, amazing parents, amazing pastors, are those that are actually chasing something significant. And I just would want to emphasize that. And I guess you can say a vision seems a little maybe business-like, but what's the project? What's the dream? What's the thing you can't stop thinking about? Because I think that's truly what the difference is, and that's really what Edge is all about. Is it's not just why it's called Edge is it's not just the thought process, but it's the edge it creates by doing something. The greatest day in anyone's life is when they know, hey, this is what I was meant to do, and I'm going to do something about it. You've all heard this, passage in Proverbs of without vision, people perish. Stop and think about that. I thought that it was said very nicely today. We come in with very little and nothing, and we leave with nothing. But while we're here, we have to have a vision, or we really don't live the life we were intended to live. Later in Proverbs, my life verse is really Proverbs 13:12. A vision delayed, says a hope delayed or deferred, makes the heart sick. But a vision fulfilled is the tree of life. And so our hope today is you take something, put the iPhones down maybe just for an hour this weekend, pick up the journal and a pen for the first time in a while maybe, and say, what is it? What's a tree of life look like for you? What's the vision that's there? And I'll give you a few cents last, EdgeX. Because this is what we're all about, changing the trajectory of leaders as getting people to catch the fire of what in the world God intended them to do and do it. And I'll go right down through. First, as a parent of 6, my wife Annette and I, a parent of 6 kids. I don't think there's anything more ultimate than seeing your child start to experience what their calling is. And can I just stop right now? As crazy as this world is, the greatest mentoring role anybody can play is being a mom and a dad or a grandparent. And can we recognize the parents and what they do? I know there's thankfulness days and not many people around recognizing, and not even many references at a conference like this. But there is no greater impact than to make the next generation better than your generation. And your greatest legacy that will live on is your kids. That's the greatest mentoring. And we hope as Edge, we can even play a role there. I received a call about a month ago from my 22-year-old daughter, Madison. And this is, to me, one of the ultimate things, I think, for parents. And you've all had this, I'm sure, if you have kids this age, when they don't stop talking. When they call dad and they don't stop talking because they're experiencing something that might be what they're supposed to do. And then I learned it really came from Liz Henderson that's set up here, and a few texts and a few phone calls and the investment that she's had in my daughter's life that's realized to see her calling. That's ultimately kind of a vision or a tree of life as a parent. And how about a community leader, a nonprofit, a pastor, some of you that are chasing the wrongs and the broken places of this world that need to make them right. There's a lot of those right now, whether it's teaching someone how to read or whether it's hunger, seeing someone that has lost their dignity, where the shame is reigning over them and there's hopelessness. And it only takes, God gives us this feeling of you only need one story and one face to return back to a sustainable, great life, and you're going. Don't underestimate what God will do with a vision. Last night in my home, John and Annie Houghton, young life leaders that leave Indianapolis, they moved to Chicago for John to be a Midwest region leader. His wife Annie joins along. Annie's now, God stirred and opened up door after door. And she's with a love for kids. She's now been put into a school. They purchased a building, and now in one of the rougher parts of Chicago, we went for John Houghton in Young Life, and now Annie Houghton is principal, superintendent, and helping with 70, 80 kids. Just one kid's life change trajectory is a different story. Annie Houghton, a vision, achieved. That's tree of life. And many of you are chasing those broken places of the world. You know, everyone says, Jeff, tell me about the IPO. Well, the story that no one will probably talk about is this. We're a public company, but 1 year ago when I left EdgeX, we had all 4 options on the table, and IPO was only one. And it wasn't necessarily the obvious one or the lead option. But what happened behind the curtain, the real story, is hundreds of employees that saw a world with Elanco in it, chasing food security and pets and changing the world through lives and meat, milk, and eggs and hunger and a world without it. And the hundreds of employees' vision became stronger than mine or any in the world or any business case. And a lot of things happened that I can't even explain, but all I can say is the power of vision of hundreds of people inside of a company can change the world and change a company. And the last is Edge. And I just want to end by saying Edge's vision is 9 years in, is our intention is not to stop here, thanks to all of you. The intention right now is we're not just going to be about mentoring groups, but we're going to start to move to digital. We're going to offer products, more opportunities in smaller events like this. We're not going to be in 40 states, but 50 states and beyond. We're going to stay here in Indianapolis and base it here. But we believe a mentoring movement is what this world needs. And as Dave and Tim have said, intergenerational relationships, changing the trajectory of leaders, not just young emerging leaders, but even those in their 40s, 50s, 60s, the change in the trajectories of them to make everything out of the life that while they're here, they can be. That's our intention, to make this the most impactful mentoring organization to change the kingdom and to bring hope and excitement into this country, because I think we need it, and I think we can do that. That's our intention. So I end by saying, think about that. Think about this. Go look up Proverbs 13:12 and write it down. A vision delayed or hope delayed makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. What's your tree of life? Take something from today and these amazing speakers, just one thing, and create an Annie Houghton story or a Liz Henderson story. That's what Edge is about, and we need you. If you're not sure how to do that, or you want to be a mentor or a mentee, or even not one of those but something else, Edge can be a conduit for you. Come on in. Join us. Bring your company in. And we're willing to jump in and help you in any way we can. I end with some thank yous, and then we'll close. A lot goes into one of these, and I'd like to first start by saying we're standing in one of the fastest, most dynamic churches in the country. Aaron, wasn't he great? How about Traders Point? Thank you very much. Well done. Thank you, Aaron. Second is to all the sponsors. Thank you. We could not have done this. Over 50 sponsors, companies that are investing. Thank you very much. We also had a lot of speakers this year that said, hey, we're in, we're coming, and no fees. They're into the cause. We want to make an announcement here, too, that Edge is going to contribute to all the speakers' causes afterwards. We're going to make a contribution, but let's give one last big round of applause to all of our speakers.